Hello, fans in the grandstands. This is episode 5 of The Pen with your mom's favorite Little Leaguer, Hunter Malone. The Swiss Army knife of Spinnaker, Drew McDonald. And the Philadelphia Philly man over here, Doug Rinier. He went to the combine. I didn't have anything to think of, so Philly man's the only thing because he rides or dies for the Eagles.
Perfect.
Rise or dies for his Eagles, and that's the only thing that matters to me. So just going to jump into a little bit of news. Again, not much has happened in the sports world, but Fauci, the dude who we all listen to about COVID-19, has said that there's a chance that's come back in a centralized location with no fans. Now, do we care that there won't be any fans, or we just give us sports?
It depends on the sport.
So baseball.
Baseball can be played
without fans. They've done it before. They did it in Baltimore during the shootings.
Riots, yeah.
Yeah, the Rays don't play with anyone either.
Ouch. Yeah, they're used to not having anyone at their games. So, same with the Marlins. It's just gonna be actually a home field advantage for them.
Yeah, it really would be. Hockey and basketball will be tough simply because you're just gonna throw them into the playoffs, I would assume. But what's the point of having playoffs if there's no home ice or home court advantage where you can feed off the fans? So I think baseball can be done without sports, but the other two, I don't know. And some kind of football is looking at either nothing major has happened with football, but college football is looking to do either a shortened season or something like that. They're all keep saying, they should play with no fans. But if you're going to have a college kid not play in front of fans and he's not going to get paid and he's putting himself out at risk, I don't think that's a fair trade-off. Just give him a year of eligibility.
As well. All right. Yeah, so I think golf could be played without fans as well. I mean, you got to be quiet for that anyway. So
golf is actually, I think, going to make a comeback in probably June, simply because you can play 2 stones, and the max amount of people will be 4. And the only time you're by each other is at the tee box or by the green. But even then, you're feet apart. Golf can easily be done without fans. Tennis too. Tennis can come back as well. And then kind of jumping into kind of a thing that's been making some headlines is Kyle Larson is an absolute idiot. He's a NASCAR driver. They were doing this iRacing, e-racing, whatever the heck you want to call it. Well, he decides to test his sound system. He goes, "Can anyone hear me?" And he goes, "Hey," and then drops the N-word with a hard R. I don't care who you are, especially if you're white, you cannot say that word. Just because there's so much bad context behind it. And the fact that he said that on a televised event, basically, or a streaming event, kind of, I don't know. The awkward tension, too, if you watch the clip, a dude goes, there's a dead silence for about 30 seconds, and then someone goes, "Yeah, Kyle, dude, we can hear you." And they're all embarrassed and shocked about what they just heard from this man. So he ended up losing his sponsorship deals with McDonald's and Pepsi the day after. And then 2 days later got cut from his racing team. Things are not going well for him.
Well, I picked up his McDonald's sponsorship. So.
Yeah. Look at Hunter over here making money while we're out here just starving.
Yeah, well, he's an idiot. That word should never come out of your mouth. I don't care who you are. Not even as a joke. So, I mean, I get uncomfortable hearing it anytime I, wreck some kid in Call of Duty. That's literally the first thing that's said, and that's that shouldn't even be brought up there either. It should never be spoken. It should never even be I don't care if it's a joke or if you're just like trying to be offensive or trying to be racist. It's something that should come out of your mouth. There's certain words that you can say, and there's words that you cannot say, and you need to understand. Not say that word. You are.
I remember I was car ride going to a wedding, and my friends, they're Ukrainian, and their culture is quite different from ours simply because they get married at like 20. We're 19. We're 18. And I was in the car ride, and we're all joking around. She let it slip with a soft A, and she told it to me, and I looked at her. I was like, "You can't say that word." And she was like, "Who says who?" And I was like, "Literally everybody in the United States." And so, like, I think there's just such a cultural gap that just needs to be figured out right now in the United States. Even if, like, everyone knows you're not supposed to say that word, but even them still have morons saying that word, just trying to be funny, I think that needs to change soon. Pat McAfee said, like, you're a 20-year-old man. Not 20-year-old man. You're a man in 2020 or anybody, and you're white, you can definitely not say that word. He goes, if somebody says it to me, Pat McAfee goes, either you need to stop saying it or I don't want to be associated with you anymore. It's not a funny deal anymore. But kind of moving on, that's basically it in sports. Chinese Basketball Association is still on hold. They're looking to get back in August. But I've read reports that China is starting to have a resurgence of COVID-19 again. And this was kind of to be expected when you lock everybody up and you bring everybody else back out. So we'll see when this pandemic will end and what's going to happen. But other than that, MLB is participating in a massive study about COVID-19. And they're just kind of doing it just for the sake of health reasons and things like that. But other than that, there's really no other sports news. I do eventually on this show want to talk about, not this one specifically, but later, the impact of the New Zealand Basketball League, because they're stealing away high school talent. That's a topic for a different time.
Didn't LaMelo Ball buy a league?
Yeah, he bought a team.
Team. Excuse me. His own team. Yeah, that's like a big flex.
Like, he's like, screw it, I'll just GM my own team. Not even gonna play there next year.
He's playing my team in real life. Like overseas.
Imani Bates is one of the first sophomores to win Gatorade Player of the Year. Kind of surprising that a sophomore is going to win it. And even he's probably going to think about New Zealand Basketball League as well. Several other players have committed for the draft. 4 Kentucky players have committed. And a bunch of other people. Colt Anthony has not yet made a decision. And LaMelo's supposed to be a number 1 pick, but we'll do NBA draft stuff when he gets there. This Friday is the WNBA draft.
Let's go.
Wow.
With the drain, the Sparks, let's do it, baby.
Jeez, you're in Atlanta fan. True and true. No wonder you root for WNBA teams, because there ain't nothing else in Atlanta to root for.
Listen, man. United are a good soccer team. The Braves are one of the best teams in the National League. Don't at me on that one. The Falcons are on the rise.
Sure they are. Sure.
The Hawks are the Hawks.
So, just like the NFL draft, the consensus number 1 pick is Sabrine Ionescu. I've heard it like 25 times on ESPN, so I figured out how to say it now. Ionescu. She's the only player in college to have 2,000 points, 1,000 assists, and 1,000 rebounds. Male and female. She's the only player. And she was big. Kobe was like one of her big role models. They were very close. She's basically going to go into the draft and be number 1 pick for, I think, the New York Liberty. I think they have number 1 pick. But other than that, I heard a nice little tidbit today. So we're all talking about revenues and the concern for that. Just a little tidbit. The NCAA men's basketball tournament lost $375 million for not playing via PTI torn Hershiser.
That's crazy.
$375 million.
I wonder how much the players lost.
Nothing.
Nothing. Oh yeah, because those tickets, that was the place I was working for. The tickets
Geez,
were
that was just-
non-refundable.
Bro, draft stock. They lost potential value in their draft stock.
Carson Edwards benefited from it. Guys like
Curry benefited from
The only thing they missed out on was their pro days, but I'm sure at the combine, if they had a kind of thought in the back of their head of, okay, this COVID thing could be a real life thing in America soon, they might have done extra homework there. But if not, then I guess this is kind of like the lost year of like getting more intel on players.
Yeah. It'd be NCAA's. A bunch of teams are kind of concerned about their revenues. University of Cincinnati men's soccer program is done. Cut, no more. Cut the program because of revenue. Because one, that I think it was going to get cut no matter what. Apparently, is what the AAC commissioner said. But it's the reality. The group of 5 schools, not the Power 5, but the group of 5, like the Mountain West, the WAC, MAC, like those conferences have asked for financial relief and like layoffs because the NCAA has certain like requirements you have to meet. I don't know everything about that, but that's a topic for another time. We have kind of a lengthy show a little bit, so we're gonna go ahead and move into the mock draft. The NFL mock draft. Now the draft is next week.
April 27th, 7 p.m.
Yep, ESPN, ABC.
Get to watch Joe Burrow's career end before it started. I'm just kidding. Maybe the Bengals can do something with him. Let's see.
So I'm trying to get this like theme song to work. Being really fast over here. I had an ad on YouTube. It sucks. But so that is not it. I'm not even gonna try. Whatever. No, I want the tone where it's like the ring where it goes, the pick is in. It's like dun dun dun. You know what I'm talking?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I'm not even gonna look it up.
Blue face, baby.
But it's all virtual. I think they're gonna put cameras in like the players' homes and see their reaction.
Maybe.
Always do.
Oh, they have like a selfie with their Snapchat. They're like, yeah.
I want to know how the jersey's gonna get distributed. Like, do they just send them like all 32 teams, or like, here, hold on to this and just send back?
Yeah, just hold on to this jersey, and then each player. That's a first round selection.
People like Joe Burrow and Chase Young, I'm sure they have. Obviously, Joe Burrow probably has a Bengals jersey and a Redskins jersey all made up just in case something happens. I don't think you're going to get all 32 teams, but I think you're going to get like the top teams that are interested in you. I don't know if you'll get the jersey. I'm assuming you'll get the hat.
Yeah, they'll have the hats for sure.
If you're like a 7th or 6th round pick, like just be happy.
You're just like on like those. They're not going to acknowledge. They don't acknowledge 3rd through 7th round picks, right?
I think they're going to
just 1st and 2nd.
They'll acknowledge them. It's like in terms of being brought out on stage.
No.
Yeah, no. What ends up happening is they take whoever's in the green room.
Yeah.
And they keep going until they're done, and then it's just like famous people from the nations.
They've had live reactions from inside their homes before. Like Baker Mayfield did that. Jameis Winston did that. So I mean, these are like big name guys. They decided to stay at home with their families. So I mean, they've done it before. They'll do it again.
So let's go ahead and start. Everybody knows who the first pick, who has it. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. They have a ton of needs, and quarterback is one of them. Kind of like I'm not like against Andy Dalton, but I'm also like, this dude's not your answer either. Also, like the Bengals haven't done anything with Andy Dalton to make him better or worse, other than not give him an O-line. But you know, AJ Green, who knows how much longer he's going to be there, as Hunter just gets handed food.
You gotta stay fed on the show.
But
Stay fed,
let's go
stay
ahead.
hydrated.
So, do we all have an agreement that the first pick of the 2020 NFL draft will be none other than Joe Burrow, quarterback from LSU?
Yep, without a doubt.
Are we all in agreement?
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals were, 30th in offensive efficiency,
Yeah.
over 31st. They need Joe Burrow bad, especially when they're not going to re-sign Andy Dalton. I don't see them taking anyone else.
So, I'm on board. Here's the thing. The Bengals have offensive weapons. They have Joe Mixon, which I just read a report today. He's willing to hold out for money, too. After Christian McCaffrey just got paid to be the highest running back in the league. Joe, he's still got AJ Green. He's still got a bunch of other talent, John Ross.
Tyler Boyd was nice.
Auden Tate, Tyler Boyd, Gio Bernard. Got talent there. It's just a matter of, are they actually going to do anything with it? So I think we all are in agreement. Joe Burrow, and he's the Ohio kid. You can't pass on this guy. I just think you're dumb if you do. And he had one of the greatest college seasons we've ever seen. That kind of leaves me to worry, though, that it was only one great season he's had, and we saw how that worked out for Mitchell Trubisky, kind of. Joe Burrow has been a 2-year starter versus Trubisky, who was a 1-year starter. So it kind of played.
The difference with that, though, is Joe Burrow said he probably had arguably one of the best seasons of a quarterback in SEC history.
Yeah, he did.
So Mitch Trubisky played for UNC in the ACC. He was just NFL projectable, and look how that turned out for the Bears. Now they got big old Nick Foles over there. So I think Burrow will be okay the first year, but I think second year you'll see a massive jump because then once you have your quarterback, you can then build around it, around him. Hence with Tom Brady, they built Gronkowski, Edelman, Moss, Welker.
Yeah,
Dynasty.
With that. So moving on, Washington Redskins own the second pick. Just so you guys in the grandstands know, this is a no-trade draft. We have no trades. This is straightforward, all 32 teams. We will say which picks do we think are going to get traded, but other than that, we're not actually doing any trades. But the Washington Redskins have the number 1 pick. Do we all agree that it's Chase Young? Number 2, my bad.
And
I have Chase Young.
Yes, Chase Young.
The beefy O-line. Or the O-line, D-line, excuse me.
Go ahead, Hunter.
I mean, so the Redskins aren't going to give up on Dwayne Haskins, and then they just have Ron Rivera. So we all know he's defensive-minded. So you can't pass up on the number 1 defensive prospect. I mean, watching the kid on highlights, the kid has a wicked first step.
Yeah.
It looks like he's offsides every game, every time. And if you break it up in frame by frame, he's just the quickest guy off the ball. And it's insane. I've never seen anyone that quick like it. And it's just something that you can't teach. You either have it or you don't. And he just bullies everyone. So, I mean, I feel like you can teach him, strengthen his spin move, his swim move, other ways, bull rushing. I think he's going to be a monster. So
I definitely agree with that statement. Chase Young has apparently a higher grade than Nick Bosa did last year, and Nick Bosa turned out to be a monster. So if that's any indication, the Redskins are getting a heck of a player in Chase Young. Moving on to the number 3 pick. This pick, in my opinion, I think will be traded by the Detroit Lions. I have Jeff Okudah. Do you guys also have Jeff Okudah in the 3rd spot?
no.
Who do you have in the 3rd spot, Hunter?
In the 3rd spot, one, I think it's going to get traded as well. but as of right this second, I have the Lions taking Isaiah Simmons.
Ooh, the hybrid.
Yeah.
Why that?
Just because with as many needs as the Lions have, just passing up on the most, probably the best athlete in the draft, I don't think that's an option. They did just sign a cornerback, so them taking another one, it doesn't make sense to me because they have that's what they just signed Desmond Trufant.
Trufant.
Yeah, so they just signed him. I think you just helped out your defensive back. Why not beef up your linebacker position?
So I have Jeff Okudah. Doug, do you have Jeff Okudah as well?
I'd say so, just because simply they lost Darius Slay. They need to replace that kind of number one guy.
That was my line of thinking.
Kind of get that presence, because making Okudah the number 3 overall pick, that's obviously going to cement him as being the best clear-cut corner in the draft. So I just feel like they got to do Okudah, one of their biggest needs. They could go. The trade though that you guys were talking about earlier is definitely 100% possible, because it's the ball's in other teams' court to want to get that raw quarterback, whether it's the Dolphins or the Chargers. And the Lions would love to get more compensation because they have so many needs. Might as well get an extra pick in the second round, third round. So Okudah for sure though, but a trade will probably happen.
Yeah, Okudah I feel like is by far the best corner in this draft, and Trufant is old and he's a bit washed up. That's why Falcons released him. You can't argue with that, Drew. So I think Okudah will help solidify that secondary, because they're signing a bunch of former players from the Patriots to beef up that entire D-line and linebacker core.
Yeah.
And I think corner is what you need to fix, especially if you're going to face off against Devontae Adams twice a year, Adam Thielen twice a year, and Allen Robinson. Those are all great number one guys, especially D. Adams, who has one of the best releases in football. So moving on, the New York Football Giants.
Ooh, this one's good.
4 overall pick, and I have them taking Isaiah Simmons. Does anyone have anything different? I know Hunter does, because Isaiah Simmons just went number 3.
I do as well.
Okay. Are we all in disagreement on 4?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Let's hear it. Doug? Not Doug?
Yeah. So I think the Giants, they just, defense obviously is important, but with offense, they're just, if they get, I think, 1 or 2 more pieces on that O-line, then Danny Dimes might have more time. He might have, better way just to kind of accelerate his progression in the NFL, in the sense of becoming a good quarterback, because we saw some flashes. So I think they need to draft Tristan Wirfs, the tackle out of Iowa.
We saw him at the combine.
Yeah, he was a beast, Jacob. That guy can move for his height and weight.
He's my number 1 offensive tackle in this draft.
I think they got to get him, because they have Nate Solder, who's on a bad contract, as Hunter knows. It wasn't that he was okay in New England, and then stole some money from the Giants. And they signed Fleming or someone else, didn't they, from the Patriots as well? Another tackle or something. So they're going to have to – investing in the O-line is important. Protect your quarterback. So I think Tristan Wirfs.
So, Drew, who do you have?
So I went the same O-line route, but different school in Louisville, and Mekhi Becton.
He's a beef. He's a big man.
Also, his speed, too. He had a 5'1", 4-yard dash. So Duke can still have good speed with his length and size. He had to protect Lamar Jackson in college, so he's known for quick quarterbacks to guard for. I feel like the Giants is such they're weak on the O-line, like Doug said. So both look that up to keep them to kind of get the offense back in shape.
So I just want to quickly say I originally had Jarek Wills from Alabama, but I kept seeing more and more mock drafts, and they just keep saying that Simmons just fills so much more at defensive front, so that's why I went with Simmons. But Hunter, who did you have?
So I took Tristan Wirfs as well, just because of you got to protect Danny Dimes. Also, you need the big guy to help set the edge for Barkley.
Saquon.
Yeah, I couldn't slip my mind.
Saquon.
Being ranked 25th in offensive efficiency, if you get this big offensive tackle out of Iowa, who's probably the best offensive lineman in the draft, I think that can only help you. I mean, his freakish athleticism for his size is just ridiculous, and he can play either tackle spot or kick inside if necessary. So, I mean, it just makes sense.
So like mentioned before, me and Doug went to the combine. We saw the old tackles do their drills. We didn't see them run 40s, but we saw them do the drills. And Tristan Wirfs was being asked to do every drill, to show the tackles every drill. And that's actually very, very important to know, simply because, like, if you're asked to show the other attendees how to do this drill, that means the coaches who are helping set these drills up know that you are by far one of the best and you know exactly what you're doing. His feet were quick. The mobility of him was insane. And whoever gets him is going to be set. So the number 5 overall pick goes to the Miami Dolphins. And their tank for Tua scheme might have just worked because I have him going to the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback of Alabama. Now, I understand there's the health issues. There's the hip, the ankle, the finger, different things. Health is a concern, but he's also a really, really great talent. And from all the mock drafts I'm seeing, he's either going to the Dolphins or to the Chargers, and that's it, plain and simple. So, who has Tua as the number 5 overall pick?
I do. I mean, the Dolphins aren't sold on Rosen, or Fitzpatrick isn't a long-term solution. I don't know if y'all remember the Drew Brees draft. Drew Brees was also injury-plagued coming out. So, and you know who passed up on him? The Dolphins. You know who's not going to let that kind of scenario happen again? The Dolphins. I think they're going to jump all over Tua. Even if he has injury problems, the entire Miami nation, all 7 of them, are screaming for Tua to be picked. So, I mean, it's either you pick him or you better hope whoever you pick becomes a Hall of Famer, because if not, your head's going to be on a plate and they're going to be calling for it.
So, Drew, did you have Tua at number 5 as well?
I did not actually. I went with Justin Herbert from Oregon.
Wow.
So, yeah, I feel like his accuracy is kind of one of the biggest things that stood out to me. And also just he's part of the Pac-12, so that West Coast offense, he can spread out that team to the spread and make it more fast-paced with guys like Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, who's a beast at the tight end. Be good job for the Dolphins. I feel like they've also drafted so badly. Like the one's got like Jake Long in the draft in the first round for no reason. The guy's terrible. So they just grew up with Herbert. It's kind of Dolphins' tradition.
Yeah, I think Tua is just going to be the fit here. I've definitely heard reports, though, that the Dolphins really, really like Herbert as well. But I think they're too in love with Tua. And you have 2 quarterbacks in Rosen and Fitzpatrick. And Rosen, I think, can get you another late-round draft pick if you want to just trade him away. Because let's be honest here, Rosen is bad.
He's a career backup.
I remember what he said when he was drafted, I think, in the first.
Oh, man.
He was like, yeah, these other teams are going to regret not taking me. And I was like, okay, dude, you're not even that good to begin with. And it showed. Obviously, he's been on very bad teams, but even then, like, it's just not there. And I think they can sit Tua out for the year if they want to. But obviously, I don't think that's the right way to go if you're drafting a quarterback first overall. So moving on, the Los Angeles Chargers at number 6. I believe they're going to trade up to get Tua. If not, I have Justin Herbert going to the Chargers. I just think Tyrod Taylor's a transition quarterback. I think Herbert will sit the year, learn, because of the some of the intangibles need to be worked on. The defense is fine. The offense is fine. mean, I can see him going O-line if they really want to, but not enough for me to warrant them that pick. Who has Herbert at 6? So I know Drew does.
I have Herbert going 6 as well.
Doug?
I actually have someone else
Who
going
do
at
you
6,
have?
the Chargers.
Who do you
So
have?
I believe the Chargers will invest in a quarterback in the second round, whether that's Jalen Hurts available, Jacob Eason, or the last guy, Jordan Love, if he falls. And then I think the first round will go best available player. So for me in my mock draft, I actually have them taking just because I think I'm going to take Mekhi Becton, give some more O-line help because they have some weapons over there in Los Angeles. They got Keenan and Mike Williams and Hunter Henry. And then you saw I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. Eckler popped off without Melvin. So I think they could plug some guy in, have Tyrod there. Hell, maybe even sign Cam Newton for the hell of it. So Cam Newton, Tyrod, and a second round quarterback, have them all battle it out. It's a pretty good competition with some good offensive weapons.
Drew, do you have Tua going to the Chargers?
I do. So I found a stat. So Philip Rivers had the most consecutive starts for the Chargers with 215. You want to get a quarterback, go with Tua in this scenario. Someone with the Chargers with Keenan and Hunter Henry and such. I thought it's a better fit than the Dolphins. I feel like that's a more traditional offense to deal with than the Dolphins.
I totally agree. I just think Herbert's just going to be their guy. So the Panthers have the 7th pick. Now we know the Panthers fired Ron Rivera, let go of Cam Newton, signed Teddy Bridgewater, made Christian McCaffrey the top running back, and hired Matt Rule, the Baylor head coach. It's a lot of offseason moves, but their defense is absolutely decimated. Luke Kuechly retired, a bunch of other things. I originally had Simmons going to the Panthers if Simmons falls. I think he's a perfect fit there. But I have Derek Brown of the Auburn Tigers. Now, I've seen this man up close in person at the steakhouse when we were in Indianapolis, and that man is ginormous. He's a monster of a man. He's quick, agile, bullies people, gets after the quarterback, can stuff the run. I think that's what the Panthers need right now in order to rebuild that defensive line. I assume you guys all have different picks than Derek Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I have the same pick.
You have Derek Brown?
Just because you have for the Panthers, you have Poe, McCoy, and Butler, who all just left Carolina. I mean, McCoy itself is a monster, so I think that makes Brown a necessity if you want to rebuild your interior defense. So it just makes sense because you just lost huge names. You're leader of your defense. I think it's time to fill up with young guys, and why not get the best available guy? So
I thought about O-line as well to protect Teddy Bridgewater, but that defense needs so much help. Drew, who do you have to the Panthers?
So Kuechly was an ACC linebacker at Boston College, entering a new ACC linebacker in Isaiah Simmons. So there's a giant hole right now in the linebacking core for Carolina. So best way to jumpstart that defense is getting Simmons there to kind of build around him in that defense with the NFC South because it's freaking pretty rough in Charlotte.
Doug, Panthers.
I'm gonna agree with Drew here and getting them Isaiah Simmons in my mock since he's still available. He's arguably maybe a top 4 player in the draft, along with Chase Young, Joe Burrow, and Tua.
Yeah.
So I think if the Panthers can snag Isaiah Simmons here at 7, it's a massive steal for his worth. And like Drew said, he'll plug a hole, an immediate, call 911 kind of hole for the linebacking core.
So moving on, the Arizona Cardinals have the 8th overall pick. I don't know how they have that pick still after the DeAndre Hopkins trade. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. It's because Bill O'Brien's a fucking idiot. There's just no other way to describe him. Just no other way to describe him. Don't want to use the language, but hey, when you trade away a top 3 wide receiver and get nothing back, get a second-round pick back. You get
David Johnson.
And that's not a win by any stretch of the imagination.
Pretty
Then,
good.
then you trade away. I think they traded away that second-round pick they got from Arizona to the Rams.
Yeah, to get Cooks.
To get Brandon Cooks. So I don't know what's
Interesting core.
in, but man, do they need some help. But Arizona, well, the wide receiver need was filled by the DeAndre Hopkins trade. So it's time to bolster that O-line. I've also heard that they might go defense as well. But
Yeah.
I think they're going O-line. And to help Kyler Murray, I have Tristan Wirfs, O-lineman out of Iowa for all the reasons mentioned before. So the Arizona Cardinals, I'm going to go to Drew to start us off over here. Drew, who do you have the Arizona Cardinals picking?
On O-line too, Jacob. I'm with Jedrick Wills from Bama. He's been a big guy to protect Kyler, the little tiny-sized tower like Kyler Murray.
Baby Murray.
Baby Murray with him and Hopkins, Nuke, David Johnson, any guy to fill in that spot to protect Kyler is kind of the best piece for the Cardinals right now.
So, Hunter, who do you have the Cardinals taking at 8?
I went with Tristan Wirfs, just because they just saw their number one wideout. Thanks to Hopkins, and I think they need to help protect Kyler Murray. I mean, we all know how elusive he is, and I believe he got sacked almost 50 times.
That's not too much.
Like, it's 40-something times, but it's Kyler Murray getting sacked 40-something times in a season. That's way too much. So they need Tristan Wirfs.
Doug, Arizona.
I think this guy's underrated. He's a tackle out of Georgia. His name is Andrew Thomas. 4-year starter, protected Fromm, even though Fromm still sucked.
Yep.
He's a flexible guy. He can do left and right tackle. I mean, that is the biggest thing for a tackle is that they can switch sides. Because say someone on the left side gets hurt, and then there's a guy that's a good right tackle behind you, so you got to go on that side. So I think that's very important for a tackle. So I'm going to go Andrew Thomas here.
So why'd you go with a guy like Andrew Thomas, a bit bigger, more of a tackle, just pure tackle stance, rather than Jedrick Wills, who's very good, in the run. He's a bit more mobile, more agile, with Kyler, you got Kenyon Drake.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think with Andrew Thomas, he's 6'5", 300 pounds, kind of big man, and he's very athletic. So I think he can, make some holes for Kenyon Drake to run through and get those 4 touchdown games. And then, just Andrew Thomas is the guy here at 8. O-line, Murray. They got the receivers. Tight ends. Obviously, there's no tight ends that are worth a first-round pick this year. So
I'm totally sure. I completely lost what I was doing. I took Tristan Wirfs 4th. For 8, I actually have Andrew Thomas as well. I don't know what I was looking at. I was looking at on my computer and not on my list. Yeah, I have Andrew Thomas going to the Cardinals as well. I have Tristan Wirfs going 4th, not 8. So I felt really dumb right there.
Okay. So moving on to the hometown team of Duval. Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, they have Gardner Minshew. They have DJ Chark. They added Joe Schobert from the Browns. They got Allen and Yannick Ngakoue right now. Right now, they still have Ngakoue. And they still have Fournette. And they got D.D. Westbrook. But D.D. Westbrook is hurt constantly, and they added Tyler Eifert via free agency as well on a team-friendly deal. So they're not giving up on the Minshew experiment. And I think you need to help Minshew out offensively and give him another weapon. And I'm going with who I think is the best receiver in this draft, and that is CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver out of Oklahoma. Now, my reasoning is what I stated before, and Lamb and Chark are both pure speed guys. Chark is not as shifty per se in the open field as much as Lamb. Like Hunter will probably mention when Lamb does get drafted about the Texas, where he literally juked out like 4 guys. And that, for me, what sold me right then and there. Because Jerry Jeudy, towards the end of the Alabama season, was starting to lose me a little bit. He wasn't catching as much balls. He was dropping them a little bit, may have cost his team maybe a game or two. His route running is still fantastic, and all the intangibles are there. I just personally like CeeDee Lamb better for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, I'm going to start with Doug. Who do you have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking?
I have someone else that is not actually an offensive player going here. I have, the guy from South Carolina. His name is Javon Kinlaw. He's an interior D lineman. I think with Josh Allen on the outside now, he is your future edge rusher, because obviously Giannis on his way out. So you want to have someone fill that kind of superstar role on the defense, and then you bring in Kinlaw, another D lineman, because I think the first round, the biggest positions to draft, and depending on on needs, but I think O-line and D-line are very important because if you win games, you win them in the trenches, and Jags need that. So I think I'm going to get Javon Kinlaw.
So, Drew, who do you have the Jaguars picking?
So the Jaguars sold the farm on defense this past offseason. Y'all know that. I'm going with Doug Brown for my team for the Jaguars. His ability to pounce, no pun intended, is just perfect for the Jaguars defense. Build around him, I think. I almost put Henderson there, but I'm like, why not Henderson because he'd probably fall to a lower team. But, yeah Brown's a guy for me to pick.
So that pun was definitely intended over here by Drew McDonald, pun extraordinaire. Hunter, our Duville Jaguars, who do you have?
I have them taking Jeff Okuda. I think he falls the number.
That'd be a steal for them.
That'd be a huge steal.
I think
That'd
he
be
falls
sexy.
9, just because of not because of his talent, but because of the needs of all the team ahead of him. If he doesn't go 3, he goes. I think he's going to go 9 to them because the Jaguars won. You just lost Ramsey and Boye. You need a cornerback, so take the number 1 at his position in this draft. I think it's a no-brainer if he's still up. And in my board, he's up at 9, and he's not getting past that. So
I'm the only one that went offense for the Jaguars, which was kind of shocking. I thought we were all going to go offense, but the Jaguars did sell the farm. So moving on, the underwhelming but overhyped Cleveland Browns. They got Baker Mayfield. You got Odell, Jarvis. You got David Njoku, Austin Hooper, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. And yet, you're in the top 10 again in picks. Defensively, they were okay, but defensively, they could use more help. But I did not go defense. Baker Mayfield had no time in the pocket last year. And you're going to get a guy in Mekhi Becton. Offensive tackle from Louisville. I think he will fall to them. I think that's a great pick for them. It keeps on track, protected, and it helps that run game too with Nick Chubb, which I think they need to be a run-first team with a guy like Nick Chubb. And, you have Andrew Thomas, who I think he only gave up like 5 sacks either last season or in his career. Wait, no, that's Andrew Thomas. My bad. Mekhi Becton, obviously, from Louisville. He's big. He's solid. Go with that offensive line with Nick Chubb. Run first. Run it down the throats. Be like Hunter in Madden and just run it down the throat, people.
it works.
And it works. So, Hunter, who do you have your boy Baker in the Cleveland Browns drafting?
I mean, offensively, they're second in efficiency. Like you said, the Browns have a ton of offensive talent, but also if you get the offensive lineman that I want, he's going to keep Baker, upright and out of trouble. I have them getting Jedrick Wills Jr. out of Alabama. The junior, he's coming out early, 6'4", 312 pounds. absolute monster. He's ranked second his position. He's ranked 8th as the overall prospect. So I think he's going to be a steal at 10 for them and somebody that they really need.
So, Drew, Browns.
So I'm taking Andrew Thomas. I have a stat for you. He hasn't allowed more than 2 pressures a single game since 2017. That's like fake stats. Like, it's insane. So, get Andrew Thomas for the Browns.
Mr. Reiner, the Browns.
I got Jedrick Willis here. One thing that people are overlooking is the Browns' potential lethal running game. Nick Chubb was balling out. Obviously, Odell and Jarvis are elite receivers, but you got Chubb back there. And Willis is a really, really, really good run blocking O-lineman. You watch some film. So to make more holes for Chubb, who's already a freak, I think this is it. And this is a really big year for Baker because if they give him the help he needs up front and he just doesn't produce again this year, I mean, granted, it's a new head coach, but he's got to produce, you know? He's got to take off that next step. So I think Willis here will hopefully help Baker do that. Give him more time to make, less interceptions or throw less interceptions. And we'll be good to go.
Yeah, full
Hope
Chubb.
you guys got my Baker reference, that Joey Molinaro guy when he does the Colin Cowherd impression. Baker's 12 and 17 as a start. Yeah, that's right. Hilarious. But moving on, the Jets own the 11th pick. I honestly don't know where they're going to go because they need help on offense, wide receiver. But Sam Darnold also is getting sacked, and probably that's why he was seeing ghosts against the New England Patriots, because the man had probably a concussion and was hallucinating. But, hey, don't judge. I think they go offensive tackle. I think you need to get a guy that's going to protect Sam Darnold. And I have Jedrick Wills. We've talked about him already a lot, and I don't think I need to say anything more. I honestly do think they might take a wide receiver, but I just feel the need to protect Darnold is so much more important than trying to get another wide receiver in an already deep wide receiver class. So I'm okay with getting a guy to protect Darnold and then drafting somebody later like Jalen Reagor or the dude out of Colorado. I can't pronounce his name.
Oh, yeah, Laviska Shenault.
Yeah.
He's a guy. He's kind of like a little bit of like a poor man's Julio.
Yeah. But that's who I have. Let's go ahead and start with Doug. Who do you have the Jets picking?
This one's tough because I do agree with your receiver kind of dilemma that you should protect more people up front. But I think I have someone else here that's random and that no one might expect. I'm gonna go with this is gonna be a shock. I'm gonna go with CJ Henderson here. Get some more corner help. I think he's obviously the clear cut number 2 behind Okuda. I actually saw him play live. I went to 3 Gator games this year. Guy was a beast. You can tell the difference between an NFL athlete to a college athlete, like projectable or in the future, excuse me. So I think it's going to be Henderson at
Hunter.
12.
Hunter, Jets.
Well, the Jets are god awful.
Breach.
It's a fact. And them being 29th in offensive efficiency, they're middle of the pack in defense and special teams. I think the main priority in the first round is going to be getting an offensive weapon. And considering Robbie Anderson took his talents to the Panthers, why not get the best route runner in the draft and taking Jerry Jeudy out of Alabama? Just watching him, his highlights are ridiculous. I don't know about y'all, but we've been watching all of the wide receivers out of Alabama since they were freshmen, and they all say from the get-go that Jerry Jeudy is the best route runner out of all of them.
I agree. Totally agree. You can see it too. I think Jerry Jeudy, I know like if we're going to talk about offensive comparisons, I think Jerry Jeudy's going to be more like Devontae Adams.
Okay.
With the route running. So Drew, the New York Jets.
I'm taking
For that
double J,
team.
Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy as well?
Yep.
Awesome. So moving on, the Raiders. The Oakland Raiders are going to be a wild card team.
Whoa, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders. I think they're going to be the wild card team of the draft. Because I don't know where they're going to go. They can go corner and get Henderson, which he's still available in my mock, or they go offensive weapons to help Derek Carr. Or they take a guy like Jordan Love, because apparently the Raiders are not sold on Derek Carr either for some weird reason. But I have the Raiders selecting Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver from Alabama. We talked about him. I think he's going to be a Devontae Adams guy, and putting him over in that Oakland offense with Josh Jacobs, Tyrell Williams, and the surprise of Darren Waller at tight end makes it a very good offense. And that offensive line has improved as well. I don't think defense needs too much help, but we saw last year with the 4th overall pick when they picked Colin Farrell.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
It was kind of shocking. So
Ooh, reach.
Oh, and then again, I did see Mike Mayock just eating, Chinese takeout in the food court area, food court lobby. So I don't know how much faith I have in a dude who's getting lunch from Taco Bell. I'm just kidding. I think Mike Mayock knows what he's doing. But let's start with Hunter. Raiders.
Well, the Raiders were dead last in defensive efficiency. They were 6th in offensive efficiency. That being said, they haven't had a number 1 receiver since trading away Amari Cooper. And with this being touted as the number 1 wide receiver class since Nam.
Yeah.
I think you can't pass up CeeDee Lamb. So I think at 12, they're going to take CeeDee Lamb. I would say he's the most explosive wide receiver out of these. He's not the best route runner, but give him some space and he will make you miss. Like you brought up earlier, the Texas highlight. If 4 guys surrounding him, 4 guys, put him in a box, and 1 person laid, 2 fingers on him, if that, and he scored a touchdown. If that doesn't tell you he's a freak athlete, I don't know what else to explain to you. I've been watching him since he was a freshman at Oklahoma. I follow OU football pretty well. I mean, as soon as he stepped on the field, he was a difference maker. I mean, him and D.D. Westbrook, those out of the 1-2. Obviously, CD had Baker his freshman year, Kyler his sophomore year, and then last year having Jalen Hurts. He's dealt with 3 quarterbacks in 3 different years, and he's been a monster. So his versatility, his being able to adjust from season to season from quarterback, I think that speaks to his volume, and that's something that's really not being brought up.
So moving on. Drew, who did you have the Las Vegas Raiders picking?
So the new GOAT in Vegas will be a Lamb, CeeDee Lamb, that is. So having him with the Raiders, they've had a huge gap in receivers that have been well. They've got Mark Cooper, who was great. They kind of drop off the next couple of years. Now to Lamb. Also, I want to gas up Darren Waller. He is a sleeping giant tight end for NFL, and he went to a great school in Florida Tech. So acknowledging him, who he is, and where he went to school at, he'll be a crucial piece in that Raiders offense this year.
Dude, Drew, you should just be a Georgia redneck for how much you just blow up our ass.
Rednecks are Georgia fans. Georgia Tech's intellectual fans.
Ooh, how do you feel about that, honey?
I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's accurate at all.
That's tough, Hunter. We got to keep moving. Doug.
Institute, not at a university.
Doug, Raiders.
It's obvious. Honestly, the Raiders' defense is looking pretty good. And O-line is pretty stout. I think they're going to add a number one receiver here in Jerry Jeudy. I think having him on the outside, having the man with the legend, Hunter Renfrow in the slot, and then Tyrell Williams, Zay Jones, and then my favorite player of all time, Nelson Aguilar, competing for that second depth chart position. So, Drew is a Falcons fan too. Knows that catch that he almost had on the sideline. That catch, if he made that, we win that game. But he was dropping kids like Aguilar. Anyway.
So the 49ers own the 13th pick via the DeForest Buckner trade with the Indianapolis Colts. Now, they traded away Buckner, but the 49ers lost that Super Bowl because they could not keep up offensively with the Chiefs. And that's why I'm picking probably the fastest dude in this draft in Henry Ruggs III. I think obviously I have Lamb going first, but once Jeudy is drafted, there's going to be a run on wide receivers in the rest of the first round. Because I think everyone needs one kind of right now. But yeah, I have Henry Ruggs from Alabama. Dude ran a 4.27. He's super quick. Barely drops the ball either. Very reliable. And he's a super deep threat too. But he's also the quick dude across the middle. You got Kittle still. You still got the three-headed monster at running back with Mostert. McKinnon was
Tevin
hurt.
Coleman.
Who? Tevin
Coleman.
And there was one other dude, but I'm forgetting his name.
Matt Breida.
Huh? Matt Breida. There it is.
Yeah, the three-headed monster.
Henry Ruggs III going to the Niners. I'm going to open it up to Doug. Doug, who do you have the Niners taking?
For my personal mock draft, I have them taking CeeDee Lamb. Once and if they get CeeDee Lamb, that offense is just absolute scariness. I mean, their O-line stout. Jimmy G's, I think, really now I think he losing that Super Bowl, having the Super Bowl experience, he's really ready to go. Having CD at number one spot, and then having Deebo Samuel, who, funny story, I met at the combine last year. I asked him for an autograph, and he said no. So I got an autograph from him. And won a Super Bowl, then I would get a Super Bowl winning autograph, but he lost. So I think it's karma. That's why he didn't win the Super Bowl.
Definitely.
Anyways, but yeah, I'm going CeeDee Lamb here without a doubt. I think it's a toss up between him and Jeudy as the number one receiver in the draft. But it's kind of like a pick what you want as in a strength. Lamb's for me, I think Lamb's has the speed, has the route running, and has the size. And obviously with Ruggs, he has the speed, and then Jeudy has the size and the spectacular catch ability. So
who else has Lamb to the Niners? Nobody else? Does anyone have Ruggs to the Niners?
I got Ruggs going to the Niners just because the offense and defense, they were ranked third in defense and eighth in offense. So, honestly, they're just adding weapons at this point. I think Jimmy G could, only benefit from adding a talented wide receiver like Henry Ruggs. Jerry Jeudy is known as the route runner, and Henry Ruggs is known as a speed demon. So I think you get that speedster out. Jimmy G loves the swing passes, the check down passes. You give it to Ruggs, catch it. He's going to be gone.
So Drew, who's your Niners pick?
Taking the killer queen, Patrick Queen, out of LSU. I think adding some speed to that defense he's very Deion Jones-esque in terms of linebackers with speed. So him and that defense will be pretty lethal for the team this year.
Definitely agree. So I just want to kind of keep rolling a bit, just kind of keep our reasonings a bit more brief now as we're getting into the back half of these drafts, just because these are more than likely going to be teams that we're going to continue to see either in the wild card now or chasing wild cards. So their offenses are more complete, defenses are more complete. So, and a lot of guys probably we either brought up or haven't brought up yet. Just want to keep things a little bit more brief going back because, the top 10's probably the most important, and we got through the good chunk of receivers. So now rolling with the Bucks and going down, just keep things a little bit more brief. If you know this guy, like if it's your team, like the Eagles coming up, have the floor for what you think you need the best on for. So the Buccaneers, I have them taking Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas slipped. It's a no-brainer. You get Tom Brady. You got all the weapons, but it doesn't mean anything if you can't protect Tom. Get yourself Andrew Thomas. Seal up that offensive line. Give Tom, get Tommy, get Brady, get some time. Sling the ball downfield. I think it's a match made in heaven right there. So, Hunter, your boy Tom's in Tampa, your hometown. Who are the hometown Bucks taking?
So the first round pick for Tampa Bay is going to be Minka Becton, offensive line out of Louisville. Yeah,
Right, he sounded so disappointed. Right, he goes, Makai Becton. Hallelujah.
he's a giant. He's a monster. And the offensive weapon core, they were ranked. I mean, what was it? I think they were like top 5. And
They both had 1,000-yard seasons.
yeah, and if it wasn't for Jameis turning the ball over 50 times last season, 50, 60 times, some unheard stat. That's ridiculous.
30.
The defense would look a lot better than they do now. But I think helping Tommy with production only makes sense.
Drew.
Taking an Iowa corn-fed Tristan Wirfs for my pick.
Doug, the Bucks.
I'm gonna go kind of the lower end guy. Here for O-line help. You gotta protect Tom Brady and Tampa, as Hunter was saying. And I'm gonna go with Josh Jones, tackle here out of Houston.
Ooh.
He's 6'5", 319. He's a big boy. So I think having him on the other side, because that O-line is pretty decimated, to help protect Brady, throw dimes to Evans and or Godwin, and maybe if O.J. Howard can finally break out, we'll see that happen as well.
So just to be clear, if we haven't talked about a guy, feel free to go as long as you want on him. If we brought up somebody like Makai Becton already, just keep it rolling a little bit. And Tristan Wirfs, same thing. So moving on, the Denver Broncos, they got my boy, Mr. Drew Lock out of Mizzou at quarterback. Y'all don't know because y'all haven't watched Drew Lock.
Please don't ever do that again.
This is touchdown Selly, baby.
I didn't see.
Touchdowns.
He's also everyone's favorite because of that little 10-second clip of him rapping, which
That was hilarious.
I know he was doing. Like, he forgot the song. He was like, dude, what am I saying?
Some nothing Jeezy put on.
He is possessed.
Yeah. But, they don't really have a lot of wide receivers. Their defense is kind of fine, really. Guys, why'd the door just open? I'm just kidding. I know somebody opened it. Defense is fine. Melvin Gordon at running back, but they don't have wide receivers. So I have Denver Broncos taking Justin Jefferson from LSU.
Ooh.
Wow. I have him just because he's quick, he's fast, he's a deep threat. Cortland Sutton is the big vertical guy in terms of, like, he can go up and get you the ball. But Justin Jefferson's going to be that deep threat that if, like, you want a quick swing out, boom, he's gone. He's got quick feet. We saw what he did to the Clemson defender who has never came back. He's still stuck in the ground over there, who his ankles are broken. I have Justin Jefferson going to the Denver Broncos. The dogs just want to keep walking outside. They just stand at the door and they just look at me. I'm like, fine, open the door.
Like, what do you want?
The Denver Broncos. Drew?
Oh, the Broncos will say yes to Ruggs. I feel like that's going to happen. Henry Ruggs to the Broncos, a good streaky guy to have to complement Sutton. Quick and simple.
Yep. I agree with Drew 100%.
Hunter?
I disagree. I think they're going to take Javion Kinlaw out of South Carolina.
Wow.
Think about this. You're a quarterback in the NFL right now. You're playing against Denver, and you have Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, and Javion Kinlaw. I think some pee just ran down your pants right now. That's going to be just a devastating pass rush, and I think it just makes sense.
Definitely agree. Moving on. Drew, these are your Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to my pick, but then I want you to give yours and give your explanation. I have the Atlanta Falcons taking Javon Kinlaw because Vic Beasley's gone. That D-line's a bit decimated. I know they did lose Desmond Trufant, and I thought about C.J. Henderson going here, but either C.J. Henderson's going to be taken before this pick, but I have a reason for this mock draft. But Drew, the Atlanta Insider, give us your pick.
So in A-Town Down, I originally had H.A. Ebenezer, but I said, wait. Give me Javon Kinlaw because your next two guys sound up the best D tackle in the NFC and Grady Jarrett. So pair him with Grady Jarrett, be an elite D-line.
You say the best D tackle in the NFC?
Yes.
You say that Fletcher Cox doesn't exist?
Yes.
Or Aaron Donald?
I was about to say Aaron Donald.
Wow, that's a statement. Oof. That's a. But hey,
Doug,
who else did the Falcons?
I know they're an easy team to forget because they don't amount to anything.
Oh, come on, guys.
Oh man,
Drew's only going to pay attention to 3/4 of the show anyway, so.
That's why you only got to 3/4 of this mock draft.
You know, why not go Kavon Chase on at LSU at the end? You know, he can sit behind their newly acquired I forget, Dante Fowler. Kind of learn from him for a year. You know, D lines need to rotate, so he gets some playing time. I'm gonna go with Chase Young here, 17.
Hunter?
I have the same as well. I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, he adds versatile and possibly underrated. He's an edge rush threat that'll help their defense, so it just makes sense to me.
So moving on, America's team, Skip Bayless's team. And we all know Stephen A. loves these Dallas Cowboys.
I hate America's team.
I know. The Dallas Cowboys, I have them selecting C.J. Henderson, the corner out of UF. I think he's the best corner outside of Okuda, and it's after Henderson, it's just a drop-off. I think the Cowboys, are praying they're going to get him because I don't think they need D-line help because that's not the issue. You let Byron Jones go to the Miami Dolphins, which I think if you're the Cowboys, they played free agency entirely wrong. You should have signed Dak, tagged Cooper, or signed Jones to a long-term deal. But, hey, Dallas Cowboys are known for being mediocre. So I just think Henderson here is the fit. I think Dallas needs to trade up if they want Henderson at this point, but he's the only pick I think they really need. They may take an offensive lineman like Josh Jones because of Travis Fredrickson or Cesar Ruiz, but I don't see it. Hunter, Cowboys.
All right, so in 2013, the Cowboys jumped the gun and took Fredrickson in the first round way sooner than he was expected to. Jerry Jones has a history of taking offensive linemen very early in the draft, and he's not afraid to use first-round picks on somebody who he really likes. I think he's going to do the same this year. He's going to take Cesar Ruiz, the center out of Michigan. I think he's going to use the 17th pick to take him.
Yeah. Doug, your rival Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowgirls. You know, their D-line got pretty purged in the free agency. So I'm going to give them a guy who's very versatile on the D-line. He's your guy, Jacob. He's AJ Espenza. D-lineman out of Mizzou.
He's Iowa.
I'm tripping. I'm sorry. Still. I think he's going to go.
Right, Jordan Phillips is the Mizzou guy.
Bro, there's no Missouri players being taken in this draft.
Yes,
yeah.
Dude. Albert O. He's the number one tight end.
I don't know why I was thinking that, but that's my guy right there. That's
You.
True. We get roast about Missouri later, guys. Let's just continue right now. Okay, I'm not ready for this heat. I don't have my notes ready. True. Cowboys.
I agree with Jacob with Henderson. I think that just having Byron Jones leave to go to the Dolphins gets a hole for the DB that gives Henderson a chance to play. Or it's also one of the most low-key teams for DBs in history. You have Joe Hayden. We had Vernon Hargreaves. We had Matt Elam, Brian Poole, Keanu Neal. So 4 guys are big guys for DBs, and that's why Cowboys should get Henderson.
So moving on, the Dolphins have the 18th pick via Pittsburgh, right? Yep. So that was obviously the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade. And this one was a tough one for me. I didn't know what to do. I thought about O-line again, but I think the Dolphins had that later pick. And they could have gone there. But I took Xavier McKinney, the safety from Alabama. Now, I thought about taking Antoine Winfield here, that safety corner hybrid out of Minnesota, which, if you listen to Mel Kiper, who he loves that dude, but he's also rising on everyone's draft board because of the athleticism. I thought about it, but Xavier McKinney with Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, and he's playing safety, and those two dudes at corner, that solidifies your secondary, which they were getting scored on. What was it? 50-something, 50 to whatever against the Ravens. They just couldn't stop anyone for the first 3 weeks of the season. So I think that's what they need to do there. But I have Xavier McKinney, but I honestly don't know where they're going to go with this pick. Let's go ahead to Drew with the Dolphins.
I'm taking Kayvon Chason from LSU linebacker, just to add some more depth in the defense. It's kind of my reasoning for it.
Hunter, Dolphins.
I think Brian is going to take Xavier McKinney as well, considering they signed half of the Patriots' defense. And the other half went to Detroit. I think it just makes sense after getting Shaq Lawson, Byron Jones, Kyle Van Noy, just get a safety. That's someone who's, literally a ball hawk. He's a monster. Their defense efficiency is 30th. They need help on the defensive side. It just makes sense.
Dolphins.
Dolphins need to make something happen offensive-wise. It's boring. Fitzmagic only lasts so long. So what are we going to do? They're going to take running back DeAndre Swift out of Georgia, also known as RBU.
Jesus Christ, this early?
I think they're going to – because they have 3 first-round picks. Might as well get that guy at 18 and then
none of
pick
these other
25, I
teams-
believe.
None of these other teams really need a running back.
True.
It's a solid pick, but it's reaching for a guy like Swift who didn't have the greatest combine. His take for himself that he's a great runner.
Yeah.
But
He's a first-round grade, in my opinion.
he is.
And they're gonna draft. Someone's gonna go in the first round. The Chiefs get him at 32 if he falls there. They need running back.
So
I'm just gonna go with
on,
DeAndre Swift.
the Las Vegas Raiders and their new home
There you go.
star. I have them taking AJ Terrell out of Clemson. Now, I thought about Trayvon Diggs. I definitely thought about Christian Fulton and Jalen Johnson. I think Terrell fits that Oakland defense better scheme-wise than Diggs does, and as Fulton. And Fulton dealt with a bit of an injury all of last season as well, which you don't know if he's healed up yet because of this COVID-19 stuff. Your doctors can't get your hands on this guy and, feel the ankle, see how he's feeling. And I think Terrell is the best available there. But I'm also wouldn't be surprised if the Oakland Raiders try to trade up to get C.J. Henderson, or if they take Henderson with that 12th pick as well. But I have them taking a corner. Doug, the Raiders.
I'm just going to flip-flop on you and have them take a corner as well. But I'm going to go with I think Trayvon Diggs. I think he's number 3rd guy in the draft, as in cornerback talent. So obviously you got Okudah, and you got Henderson, and now you got Diggs. And I think then it goes Terrell. So I'm going to go Diggs.
Drew, Raiders.
Taking a cornerback that has not been named at all so far tonight, Mr. Jeff Gladney from TCU.
He's good.
Ooh.
So the Raiders are known for their toughness. So add more toughness with Jeff Gladney, kind of packs a punch. So get him on that DB lineup and be pretty solid score.
Raiders.
They're gonna get Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama.
So moving on back to the Duval Jacksonville Jaguars again. Now, this 20th pick, I honestly don't know what the hell they're gonna do. I've read all these mock drafts, and every single one of them have gone, we don't know what the Jaguars are doing at 20. 20 is just such like a no man's land right now. But I have them taking Kavon Chason, the outside linebacker from LSU. He's that hybrid edge linebacker guy. You could throw him on the ground. You good, Hunter?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my lights either.
I just feel like if you pair him up with Josh Allen, it's going to be good. And you can pair him up with Joe Schobert, and Miles Jack and create that 3-4 or 4-3 type defense. And Doug Marone, I think Chason really fits that defense very well. So I was going to go to Hunter, but Hunter's in the dark. Are you still there? Oh, my God. That's scary. Who do you have the Jaguars taking? Did Haley, go to bed?
I have no clue. All right. It's kind of funny that the lights went out, but the scariest pick, because this man has dropped so far down. Everyone of you guys have this guy already taken. I say he drops. He's going to fall and he's going to tumble. The Jaguars are going to get a cornerback out of Florida and C.J. Henderson.
You really think he's going to?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
I have him as the third best cornerback in this draft behind – I don't have a light anymore. I don't know what happened. Behind, obviously, Okuda and then Diggs, who was just taken last pick on the board. So I think they still need cornerback help with Jalen Ramsey and Boye being gone. So,
yeah. Drew, the Tony Baselli jersey. The Jags.
So the Jags go Clayus Campbell. Probably Nick Ngakoue in a couple weeks or months. I don't know. To get an edge rusher in A.J. Epineza. Put him into the Jaguars. Something to do with the edge. I don't know. Something to do with the edge. I don't know.
I know, this pick is very tough for the Jags right now.
My mock draft, I still got some QBs left, and I think Minshew needs some competition. So I'm going to have him draft the gunslinger, the Walmart Mahomes, Jordan Love out of Utah State.
Okay. Now, we're moving in. Remember, the 21st overall pick is the Fly Eagles Fly. Doug's favorite team in the world. I have them taking Denzel Mims out of Baylor. Now,
I love it.
A guy that I basically put down in pen. I think guys I mentioned before will be gone. I think Mims is a beautiful pick for them. He'll fit that offense gorgeously. He's big. He's physical. He can be that vertical threat when Alshon Jeffrey gets hurt. And if not, that's two deep all presence you have. And he's a big wide receiver like DK Metcalf. Bro, we're outside now, Hunter?
Yeah.
Why are we outside?
Because the light went out, bro. It's cold out here. It's dark. There's bugs everywhere. It's getting crazy.
As Hunter ventures into the wild, Doug, give us some insight about the Eagles.
Well,
right now,
I'm your guy to hear about it. We have people on our teams that get paid millions of dollars and can't catch footballs or stay healthy, for that matter. We have practice squad guys who come out of nowhere and play well. So I think the need here is receiver. But I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson here. His improvement from his sophomore to his junior year was absolutely astronomical. He had 54 receptions in 2018 and then 111 in 2019. This man had 1,500 yards and 18 touchdowns this year with Joe Burrow. He's a slot receiver as well. We need some guys being a slot because D. Jackson's more of an outside guy. And Alshon Jeffrey, if he chooses to play and stay healthy, they're outside. So I think Jefferson here will be the perfect fit. You have Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders. I mean, come on. That's a If Wentz needs more weapons, then like he's already. I should just take this off. But
Drew, Eagles, who do you got?
I actually got the same one as Doug. I'm surprisingly, it's actually a genius nap for guessing Doug's pick. But yeah, I think that like with his just ungodly speed with Jefferson, having him as like a D-Jax kind of like player, but Doug mentioned having him learn from D-Jax too is a perfect scenario for the Eagles to get some more speed in their offense.
Hunter.
Well, you guys are all geniuses because you read my draft report. I think Justin Jefferson's going to LSU or going to the Eagles from LSU simply because Jeffrey, Jackson, Nelson Aguilar missed 24 games combined last year. Justin Jefferson doesn't miss games and he doesn't drop balls. I think he's a perfect fit.
Moving on to my Minnesota Vikings. Soul.
Bulls.
The Vikings.
Fuck off. Tyler. As you all know, we traded away Stephon Diggs. We let go of like 3 corners, Trey Waynes, Xavier Rhodes, and Mackenzie Alexander. Now, which one do we need to address first? I think we need to address the wide receiver first. And I have the Vikings taking Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver out of Arizona State. Now,
Speed demon.
has not been super highly touted. If you just watch the tape, when he gets an open field, he's unstoppable. I think that's what the Vikings kind of need because Thielen can catch the ball in traffic, got great hands, obviously. But Ayuk can be that deep ball threat. Obviously, we have Irv Smith, tight end, wide receiver hybrid. I think Ayuk would be a great fit for us. I really want Justin Jefferson, but I don't think he's going to get to us. And I would love Denzel Mims as well. But again, I don't have him falling to us, but I think Ayuk will be a great fit here. So, Hunter, who do you have for my Minnesota Vikings?
The Vikings will be gifted Denzel Mims out of Baylor. I think they need to address the wide receiver as well after giving away Stephon Diggs. But it's cold out here. We're going to sub 4-2 or 4-4. And, I mean, he's just an absolute monster. So I think it just makes sense.
Let's try and hurry up a little bit so Hunter doesn't freeze to death. Drew, who do you have the Vikings picking?
All right, the Vikings. I'm going to take Yetur Gross-Matos out of Penn State, the edge rusher. I think he's probably the best Penn State edge rusher come out of the NFL since Cameron Wake. So having him an extra guy to get to the quarterback faster, to kind of my logic to it.
Vikings.
Mims for sure. And you guys already nailed it on the head about what kind of player he is. So Denzel Mims.
Moving on, we have the New England Patriots. Now, I really don't know what they're going to do here. Hunter, I'm really concerned for you, bro. Like, just go inside, send dark, man.
Yeah, I just have to pee, to be honest. That's like my number one. Like,
Oh, my God.
you know?
This guy here. So I have the Patriots taking Born Man, Patrick Mahomes, and Jordan Love. Now, the reason why I looked at Zach Braun, and I was about to do it, the outside linebacker from Wisconsin, he just got caught with a diluted sample from the combine. So I don't know how that's going to work. The Patriots are such a big question mark. I really thought they're going to go linebacker here, maybe take Patrick Queen or Kenneth Murray. But I don't think Jarrett Stidham's the answer. So I think they're going to experiment with Love. But at the same time, I'm not fully sure. Hunter, the floor is yours for your New England Patriots.
I see what you did there. Experiment with Love. That's funny. Yeah, but no, Stidham is the answer. I don't think we're going to get a quarterback. I think
I hope Stidham's the freaking answer.
if not, then we're going to get T-Law. So Belichick has a plan. We're okay. That being said, we need defense. I know our defense was ranked first last year in efficiency, but we've literally lost our entire defense to all of our former coaches. So I think they're going to go the first round. They're going to get AJ Espenza, the edge man out of Iowa. People he knows about. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Just to let you know, Hunter, you're frozen on my screen, but I can still hear you. And the face frozen on the screen is beautiful. Drew?
Looks like you just saw like something scary.
I have Bill Belichick tiptoeing in his Jordans and Jordan Love from Utah State. So I think basically he can take him out from nobody to being a somebody. So with his offense, so simple as that. Just forming a quarterback by himself.
Patriots.
This will never happen, and it won't happen. And again, it won't happen. But for some reason on my board, he's still available. I'm gonna have the Patriots here draft Justin Herbert. For some reason, he just fell. Obviously, if trades are a thing, he would be long gone by now. But yeah, Justin Herbert going to Patriots. Got that wicked strong arm. He's gonna sling it down the field. To N'Keal Harry, who I met last year, nice guy, and then Edelman.
So we're moving on to the New Orleans Saints. Now, a lot of people have the Saints taking a linebacker of some sort between two guys, whether that's Patrick Queen or Oklahoma's Kenneth Murray. I went outside linebacker. I just went linebacker. Patrick Queen from LSU. He's athletic. He can chase down running backs and different things like that. And I just think he's a perfect fit in that defense. I do think they will take a corner as well, possibly. Maybe Trayvon Diggs if he falls, or Jeff Gladney, because they keep getting toasted in that secondary. I think Patrick Queen's going to be ultimately the linebacker taken. True, the rival Saints.
So for the Aints, because they ain't shit. The Saints fan base is the worst. They whine so goddamn much. Go back.
A Cowboys and Saints tie.
Oh God.
Bro, you haven't met Tyler and his freaking Packers, bro.
Oh, I know Tyler from very well.
The Vikings Saints game with Rudolph's catch, there was a PI. That is bullshit right there. So going down to the Aints pick, where I love to diss them, they go with Kenneth Murray as a linebacker because their defense is straight a garbage fire. So Murray will get some kind of defense going for their abysmal fan base in the Aints of New Orleans.
Hunter, Saints.
The Saints, 4 of the team's top linebackers, Davis, Alonzo, Alexander, and Robertson, are both scheduled to be unrestricted free agents next season. So I think it makes sense to go linebacker Patrick Queen out of LSU.
Saints.
I'm on the exact same boat as Hunter. Patrick Queen, LSU. It's the hole they need in their defense. They need to fill.
Moving on. So we're back. Yeah, we're back to the Minnesota Vikings again. We're taking a corner here, and if we don't take a corner, we're freaking stupid. If we don't take a corner at all in this first round, we're idiotic. I have us taking Jalen Johnson out of Utah. Now, I thought about Christian Fulton, but Jalen Johnson just fits Zimmer's defense much better from what I've read. But I also thought Jeff Gladney as well. I think Gladney fits that defense super, super well. I think Jalen Johnson's athleticism is just going to be what sells Zimmer and Spielman. So, Drew, the Minnesota Vikings.
The same thing as you, Jacob. Joe Johnson, same reason.
Minnesota.
I got Jeff Gladney, cornerback out of TCU. I think he's going to be a steal for you guys at 25.
Hunter, Vikings, 25th overall pick. You're muted. You're muted, bud.
The Vikings are going to get Christian Fulton, cornerback out of LSU.
Moving on. We're back to the Dolphins again.
Yes.
Is from Houston? No, not Houston.
Yeah, it is from Houston.
Is from Houston. So I have them taking DeAndre Swift. running back from Georgia. They just need a running back, man. Who is their current running back? I couldn't even tell you.
They signed Jordan Howard from us. Great number 2. Could be number 1 if he stays healthy. But that's about it. That's kind
I
of.
think DeAndre Swift's going to be the answer there. I think he's going to need. So, Doug, Dolphins.
I'm going to flip-flop with you because I had Swift going at 18. I'm going to have McKinney going at 26.
Nice. Hunter, Dolphins.
I think now is when they take DeAndre Swift.
Drew, Dolphins.
I have this guy falling McKinney from Alabama. I see him falling down to 26, the Dolphins.
We're all kind of agreement of who the Dolphins will take with at least 2 out of 3 picks with McKinney and Tua, except for the exception of Hunter saying Herbert.
Bold take. Dolphins will win the division this year.
Whoa. Slow.
Bold take right there. That's my spicy bold take.
Trucking breaks, boys.
Bills Mafia.
Seahawks.
Bills Mafia.
27th. Seahawks need defense help.
Ooh.
They don't have an edge rusher, and I have them taking Yerter Gross Matos. The mentions before.
I have the same thing.
Be the best guy out of Penn State since Cameron Wake. And I just think he's going to fit that defense so well, especially if they don't sign Clowney. That defense is immediate help. Hunter, Seattle.
Same thing, just because there's a 0% chance of them signing Clowney. They need help on the edge, so.
Drew, Seattle.
Taking Zach Bond from Wisconsin. Also, I created a nickname for him now. Called him Cold Rush. So watch my club this year. Cold Rush, Zach Bond.
Doug, Seattle.
I'm going to agree with you, Jacob. On my mock draft, I have Yetur Gross Matos. Pretty cool name, honestly. It's going to look pretty badass in the back of his jersey. Going to Seattle. If they don't sign Clowney, like you said.
Moving on to the Ravens, I have them taking Kenneth Murray, linebacker out of Oklahoma. He's my favorite linebacker that I've watched in a very, very long time.
Yeah, he's explosive.
The way he can shed blocks, read the run, read the pass, he does everything. And the Ravens need linebacking help so much.
Yeah.
Ravens, who do you got?
I have the same thing. I think they're going to take a young Kenneth Murray just because he's a tackling machine. He's got a nonstop motor. Sideline to sideline range is going to be so impactful for the Ravens and their defense. So it just makes the most sense.
Drew.
With the very subpar pass run, Lamar Jackson needed a receiver to help him out. It's like him with Denzel Mims from Baylor going to the Ravens.
Denzel Mims?
Yeah.
Wow.
Him and Marquise Brown. Ooh.
You need
weapons.
Well,
you keep taking my pitch for some reason on my mock draft. So Kenneth Murray, big need for them in the inside linebacker. Their D-line's stout, corners are stout. Definitely he's the guy to get.
I know my football boys, surprisingly. 29th, the Titans. I have them taking AJ Epinenza, the dude from Iowa. I thought about going O-line simply because they lost Coughlin to the Browns. But they also decided to dismantle their entire defense. Trade away Jarrell Casey and a bunch of other dudes. They signed Vic Beasley on a one-year deal, but that doesn't mean crap to me. So I think I'm not a huge fan of Epinenza's game. His combine was utter trash. He just doesn't look like he's going to pan out well at all. You can just see bust written all over of him. But people in front offices like this dude, so that's who I have going. Doug, Titans.
Titans here have a lot of needs. I'm just gonna go with I think AJ Terrell, corner out of Clemson.
Yeah.
I think they need another corner out there. I think Logan Ryan's a free agent still. I'm not sure they re-signed him. So yeah, fill that need.
Drew, Titans.
At the Muck in Baton Rouge, we get Mr. Christian Fulton to the Tennessee Titans as a cornerback.
Hunter.
They go offensive tackle Isaiah Wilson out of Georgia.
Ooh. Interesting. Moving on to the Green Bay Packers. Whole pack goal. I have them taking T. Higgins. I think he would be a nice fit with Devontae Adams on that wide receiver core that needs a ton of help. And I think that just makes him better. I know T. Higgins has dealt with a little bit of an injury history, but as they've shown, they can win with only one dominant receiver. Hunter, Packers.
I think they go with T. Higgins as well. I know they signed Devin Funchess to a one-year deal, but they've been struggling to find offensive production for a while outside of Devontae Adams. I think it just makes sense for T. Higgins. Plus, just what he did at Clemson, tying D-Hop and Sammy Watkins. Clemson record for receiving touchdowns with 27 was just – that's a pretty staggering record to hold. So I think it makes sense.
Drew.
I think that Doug mentioned him early in the draft, but Josh Jones, I'm going to the Packers to get protection for Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
Good pick.
Doug, Packers.
I got a beast from a place where people are very high up, and that's Colorado. We got Laviska Shenault on the outside, pairing up with Devontae Adams. He's going to be a beast.
I like the pick. I like it a lot. Now we're getting into our 2 Super Bowl contenders. They were in the Super Bowl. First up, the 49ers with the 31st overall pick. They could have gone a lot of ways. I thought about corner. I think they're going to bolster that defensive line again. And I think they're taking Ross Blacklock, defensive tackle from TCU. He's a great run stopper. He'll replace Buckner in that D tackle spot. I think that's what they're going to do. I think they just want to keep filling in that 4 and make it really, really something to behold. Drew, the 49ers.
Taking Trevon Diggs out of Alabama.
Hunter, Niners.
Well, with their second first round pick, they got a wide receiver on my board already. I think they go and help Jimmy G. They're going to go take Austin Jackson, the offensive tackle at USC.
Hometown kid. Doug.
The Niners bolstering the cornerbacks and getting Christian Fulton, LSU cornerback.
So let's finish up this first round with the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champions. They're bringing back 90% of their team, basically. I think they need help at corner, and I have them drafting Christian Fulton, corner from LSU. I think he's just going to help them fill in that corner slot spot they need. Hunter, finish off this first round for us. Chiefs.
The Chiefs are going to get A.J. Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson. I mean, yeah, if you watch the national championship game, he didn't have a stellar performance against Jamar Chase in the LSU, but I think Terrell, he's a long, athletic corner that would help address the team's need. A little coaching up, but doesn't everybody. I think he's just going to be a great fit for them.
Drew.
Taking Damon Arnett from Ohio State at cornerback.
I got them taking the mysterious man from the piss test, Mr. Zach Bond. They didn't need to bolster their linebackers up a little bit, and that team can be even more scary if he works out for them.
So that is our first round. Yes, that took way longer than I thought it would, but the draft is next week. We want to give you guys our opinions very fast. And make your mocks. Top 10 is very important to us. That's why we took simply because that's where we all pay attention to, because the back half of teams really don't need that much help. But we are going to bring up a few key players. Jeez, I can't talk. And the first one I want to address is Jalen Hurts. Where do we think he's going to go? I put down on my board either Pittsburgh or New Orleans. Fit there at either team. Hunter, where do you have the Oklahoma product going?
I have him going in the third round to the Cowboys. He's going to be Jerry Jones' project. I think they're going to turn him into a hybrid, almost like Taysom Hill. where they're going to have him basically be everything. So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see what they do to him.
True. Jalen Hurts.
Send him to Charlotte with Tay 2 gloves. Two things. Tay's in the last 3 years of Charlotte. Not me. I think he's going to pan out for 1 year. That's it. Give me an oversized quarterback like Cam Newton and Jalen Hurts.
Doug. Jalen Hurts.
Good team that wants to take him in the second, third round quarterback and be best available in the first round. So Chargers could do that. But I mean, the Patriots are kind of coming out to me because they, Hurts is a winner. Bring him to a winning culture in New England. There you go.
Definitely agree with all of them. Now, moving on, Jonathan Taylor took a workload. He gets handed the ball off a freaking ton. He had over, I think, like 900 carries or something at Wisconsin. Just eats a workload. He's fast. He carried the ball. The fumbles are a bit concerning. But I have him either going to the Bucks because Ronald Jones is not the answer, or I say he either goes to Houston or Atlanta as well. I say Atlanta because they only have Todd Gurley on a 1-year deal. And I say Houston because David Johnson's injury prone. And do they still have Lamar Miller?
I think he's a free agent, but his ACL injury history is absolutely atrocious. So he's going
I
to stay
think
there.
those are great fits there as well. Do we have any idea where we think Jonathan Taylor is going to go?
Ravens possibly, if he falls that deep. That'd be lethal with him and Lamar doing read options.
I like him going to the Saints.
How about
I
Chiefs?
like him being or Kamara.
I don't know why everyone's so keen on giving Damian Williams not the starting job.
Yeah.
I think Damian Williams is the answer in KC, and the whole KC's going to draft a running back. I'm not buying into it in the first or second rounds.
Yeah.
That's just me personally. Moving on. This guy, he's in kind of flux. People like him, and people are not. A lot of people are not happy about Clyde Edwards-Helaire in terms of not so much speed or anything, but can he handle an NFL workload? And I have him going to the Rams because the Rams do not have a running back anymore because they traded away Todd Gurley. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire would fit that offense perfectly. I don't think they're going to take a guy like J.K. Dobbins or Jonathan Taylor, but I just think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to go there. Any of you guys have any opinions on it?
I mean, I agree. I think they're going to take him probably in the third or fourth round, maybe fifth if he's still, around.
So I do want to ask this question. If we think of a player who's going to fall, which player do we think is going to fall? In terms of like a guy who's a first-round talent is going to fall into the second round. Maybe first. I didn't write down a specific name because I personally think Eason will, just because I'm not sold on this guy at all. I keep watching some highlights and tape of him, and nothing is really standing out to me about him. I like Jalen Hurts as a much better prospect to take in the second round as I am to Eason. And, yeah.
I think Delpit is the first round. This season, everyone was talking about how great he was and how good he is. And, I mean, he was pretty good over at LSU. He had a heck of a year, but I think he's going to slip to the second round.
Yeah. Delpit's a dude who's slipping on a lot of people's boards. I think Winfield, too. Antoine Winfield from Minnesota is going to slip just because I don't think teams know what they want.
I think just a lot of maybe T. Higgins, I think. It's such a wide receiver heavy draft might slip through the cracks in the second round. It's kind of my opinion on T. Higgins.
Yeah. I don't have any other players. Hunter, you got any other players you want to talk about?
I just from the hype from a few years ago till now, Kelly Bryant is somebody that I forgot was in the draft.
Hendrick Crum.
Until the other anyhow, he was, so hyped over in Clemson, loses his job, leaves, and then no one heard. He did not have a good combine at all. He kind of disappeared over at Missouri. So he's kind of somebody that could be sneaky practice squad, earn his way up to the team, and then could make a roster. I think that's huge talent from him, but for him to drop from potential first rounder to undrafted is kind of huge. Another one would be Jake Fromm, very hyped up over at Georgia. Doesn't have the strongest arm, very smart, but just where he falls around in the pass, just because he's a very system style quarterback, and it just makes sense to me. I don't know about you, but we think Jake Fromm's going to end up.
So I definitely agree. I don't think Kelly Bryant's going to get drafted at all. He's going to go undrafted. But Jake Fromm, I think, is going to be a 6th round guy or a 5th rounder. I don't think any teams are overly excited about him. I honestly think Jake Fromm should have stayed in college another year, but he decided to go into the draft because I'm going to be honest, I think if he stayed in college another year, he was going to get worse. His stock just kept plummeting and plummeting and plummeting. Just he can never get over the hump either. I just think it was disappointing to see a guy like Jake Fromm who almost beat Alabama his freshman year and sophomore year, and now he's a 5th round talent. It's just kind of disappointing to see, but it happens when his football IQ is really good, but also really bad at some points. And it's just, I think it's just a matter of can he solidify himself. To be honest, that's all I have for the show. Just kind of moving on. Just going to talk about some segments we're going to start doing on this show. Drew will continue to be on the show until we go back to school and we can get back into the Spinnaker radio booth. But until then, Drew will be on the show. So we're going to do a wrestling match of the week, where we all look at one wrestling match and we just talk about it, especially for the non-wrestling fans. We kind of want to involve you guys in our world. We're going to talk about also each show. We're going to come up with one classic moment a week that we, in your own personal opinion. So like it can be, for me, it can be the 2011 Game 6 World Series. For Hunter, it can be a Super Bowl. Talk about feelings and experiences and different things like that. Just feel content and give the people something different. Per DJ's request, DJ was going to be on the show, but then he didn't do his notes. Come on, DJ. Do the greatest college football players of all time. We're going to make a top 10 list. Each of us, not a draft, just a straight list. We're going to talk about it and debate, and we'll go from there. We want to keep creating content for you guys, and just for those who are dedicated listeners, we appreciate you out there in the grandstands. We know through these tough times that it's scary for a lot of people. And, we just want to keep making content, keep going out there and just talking, especially once this draft happens. We will talk not next week, but the week after about this draft and see how teams did. So,
Jacob, I have one last draft theory.
Go ahead.
So, history repeats itself. I believe that. In 2014, the Falcons had Steven Jackson, the running back in the 4th round who caught balls pretty well, Devontae Freeman. Here we are this year. Todd Gurley, for a Ram, who's in the draft that's going to fall down? Cam Akers. Falcons get Cam Akers in the 3rd round, put him behind him, grew him for future years to come.
I respect that Cam Akers has raised his draft stock significantly. Yeah, any Florida State fan, they're already balls deep on him.
Oh, they've been saying he's a first-round talent since he was a freshman. I have him going to the 3rd round of the Falcons as well. I mean,
I think it's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've been your host, Jacob Prale. Your mom's favorite Little Leaguer, Hunter Malone, the Spinnaker Swiss Army knife, Drew McDonald,
Get it?
king of Philly cheesesteaks himself, Doug Rinier. Doug, you've been to Philly, right?
Oh, of course. Been to 3 games.
Geno's? Was it Geno's and Pat's?
And Jim's.
Which one? Which one are you?
Geno's was the best. That was absolutely
Geno's.
fun. And they had, the way you ordered it was you had to know what you're doing because they don't have time for you to sit around and be like, you gotta say
Cheese whiz.
You gotta say whiz, no whiz. You gotta be quick, man.
Gotta be quick.
Shit on. It's just good cooking.
Signing off. We have been the Pen. Hope to catch you again, same time, same place next week, folks. Stay safe out there.
Get it?